everybody? DeathSpread here. Welcome back to your Daily Zero series where we go over your daily zero-player games. Hope you guys have a wonderful day so far. Happy December 11th. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys, Monday. Sorry, your boy's a little ill. I'm not feeling 100%. If you can't tell with the sound and everything else, I am wearing a Christmas sweater. It's Darth Vader. My family got me this, but the neck is green. But I have a green screen right now, so it looks like I'm being guillotined, which is fine. So I'm just gonna cover up. Even the hands are green. I didn't even think about that. That's funny. Anyways, so we're gonna be doing an easy one today. I kind of wanted a chill game for today, but yeah, happy December 11th, happy Monday. I'm not feeling great. So, it's going to be a quick one today. And today we're going over the game, The Old City Leviathan. So again, these games on Your Daily Zero are daily video game videos where I play a game with 0 players at the time of installation. There's a whole blurb in the description about how I choose things and everything else, blah, 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 etc., etc. But this is one of those games that has 500 reviews that are mostly positive. I don't know how I missed this one. I don't know what it is. I just know that it's exploration based and sounds a little bit chill, which I kind of need right now because I'm not feeling 100%. So we're just gonna try this out, and I'll do my best to not sound like I'm dying. Yeah. Anyway. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And let's get right into today's game, The Old City Leviathan. Let's get into it. Alright. I think we're good. I'm not the biggest fan of these settings in the game, but that's fine. We have subtitles enabled and everything else. I did the best I could with the settings for everything. Looks like the face cam is good enough for now. Let's just hit new and get going. Who knows? I am going to keep an eye on the recording just to make sure that doesn't screw up. One thing I noticed lately is I've been doing, unfortunately, you're about to inhabit a broken mind. Not everything you see or hear is trustworthy. I have been noticing that my face cam has been in the way of a lot of videos recently. So I'm trying to be a little bit more precautious of that. But I can only do so much. So anyway, we're playing as Joker. 1, me, 2, you, 3, us, 4, them. I'll stop. Okay, are we still good with face cam? Yes.
I guess it's time for us to chat, as is our routine. Not to imply that this is unwanted. In fact, I think I'm growing rather fond of you. You and I have shared a grand nothingness, and I feel as though your belly is a suitable embassy amidst the unknown above.
Man, do I agree with that. Let's read. 2nd of February. He said something about moving north towards happiness and contentment. I get the sense that this was simple sarcasm, but that often gives way to an actual desire. I do hope he finds what he's looking for. After all, he's making an effort to explore. That's more than I could say for the other Minotaurs down here. Okay, Minotaurs. That one whose residence is near the dumping point for the clean water was bad enough, but the new one, this Moses. Okay, so we already got some religious icon similarity things, because there was a Solomon's Notes. Yeah, Solomon's Notes, now we got Moses. Character does nothing but whine about his precious dwellers and their unwillingness to move. Where's your movement, Moses? To be fair, he did leave the other day. He said he was meeting with the Order camp somewhere north. 5th of February. So, 3 days later. He's back! Not Solomon. No. The other one. Moses. Just down the way. Excuse me. It's so hard to keep track of all the Minotaurs these days. But I am sure you know them all. You are a perceptive one, aren't you? Anyway, He's back, and I feel compelled to go and meet him again. I'm quite the social butterfly, I'll have you know. Granted, whenever I attempt dialogue, I usually get the same tired story about how insane I am or some other nonsense. Moses doesn't like me. He had the nerve to say that you don't exist. He said that I am some idiot bumbling around, spewing my mind to you. Well, Moses, I'm no fan of your work either. 7th of February, 2 years later. The fool. He's made the switch. At least that's what they say. I made the switch once, and my mind has never fully recovered. I embraced void, but I resurfaced quickly enough to survive. Why have you done this, Moses? Why have you dived into uselessness? After I switched the unclean water, I began to see the world for what it could be, the vasts of nothingness. I can only rely on you to unveil reality again, Leviathan. You must show me that what they have done and what this place is, lest I implode in my own abyss. 15th of April. 2 months later. He's gone. No longer will he exist as a parasite in your belly. He has made his escape, his journey to Tarshish. Fish. He has made his journey to Tarshish, and I cannot help but feel as though he is brave in doing so. On the other hand, here I sit alone with nothing to show for myself. I have become static. I sit here consuming the supplies from the old city, never even considering what the sources might hold. Shall I continue to rot? Perhaps I should drink of the unclean water again. After all, if I am useless, there is no reason to dissolve. No, I will continue. I will cling to sanity like a man lost in his hope, and I will cling to your innards like the parasitic worm I am. 30th November. May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 7 months later. It has been long enough. I have wasted away being useless for enough time to see that there must be a change. Tomorrow, Leviathan. Tomorrow I will make my journey. I will reach the surface, and I will find the old city. I will find the sources. Jonah. So we have Moses, Solomon, and Jonah. At least it isn't hiding some pseudo-intellectualness about the Bible with all the references making here. 31st January. I have to wonder how many times I have woken to greet you. Hundreds, if not thousands of days have gone by, surely. I can't believe you had not shown him to me. Solomon, my dear Solomon, yes. I met him near the south side of this facility. We had a wonderful chat, and I don't want you to feel jealous. A friendship between us would never develop to eclipse my friendship with you, as he distanced himself from me after mentioning a woman named Belle. The poor fellow was unable to rid his mind of her. Some long-lost friend from an older time, I think. Don't I know that feeling? I'm glad I'll never lose you, Leviathan. Our relationship is a special one. Guo. Okay, so we go out, and that looks like death, so we're not going to go that way. I don't know if this is a horror game. I assume it is, and it kind of looks like it is, but I really don't know. Alright, so if I leave... Which way? So this is like our bunker hideout thingy. Am I supposed to be Jonah? I think I am. Okay, that's fine. I feel bad. Alright, so here we are, Guo. Let's go left, straight, left. Let's just keep hanging left. Ooh. Oh, wait, residence? Oh, so am I that thing? Also, my running speed isn't anything to write home about. Okay, so... Okay. I don't... well, okay, let's just walk. I'm not good with directions in real life. Me stalking. You can attest to that. Ooh. Whoa. I can't crouch. Unauthorized personnel, keep out. Well, that's the same symbol as my door, so I'm gonna say I'm authorized. What's that say? Watch your step. Okay. Oh no, I fell. Oh no, I fell. Old city source overflow outlet 47-A. 47A.
Do you want
Oh!
me here?
Jeez.
I know the question must seem odd, if not insulting, but I really must ask. You seem distant as of late.
Well, I don't even know who you are. Just because you talked, I'm not gonna go that way. Nah, and I don't really feel like jumping over the edge and dying, and then get like a screamer jump scare, because that's a common trope in these things. God, I can barely run. Oh, what kind of soda is that? Soul, it says. Okay. JDOD, no, JDOO, original common, something, 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 another. Okay, bye. Water source main, sewer main, whoa. Okay, so this is main, the other one was A. West Main, general utility, garden, street, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm paying attention, good. Well, that's gonna be important later. That thing. Alright, sewer access B. Do I just jump down? YOLO! Oh, no fall damage. Cool. Glow sticks! I like glow sticks.
And please do not take offense. Your innards sometimes frighten me. Even in the complete safety of a belly and to myself, there are places like this that I do not want to know.
Yeah. My belly. Get in my belly! That's what this is all about,
I
isn't
wonder if the dwellers would cluster together like rats if they really understood the true value of isolation. All of their pathetic little wars and ridiculous assumptions of superiority would be washed away if they all had their own private labyrinths to roam around in. Granted, they could never understand the importance of the individual, the megalomania of justice in the guild, order, and, yes, even the unknowing. It's far too strong. There really is no point in even attempting dialogue.
And then why are you saying dialogue if there's no point in dialogue? I'm just asking the questions, man. Why? I don't know. I don't know who you are. Is that my character talking? It feels like to me that my character's talking to the surroundings, which I won't lie, isn't a bad idea. Like, I like that for like a crazy character, but also I don't know what he's talking about, so it's a little hard to understand.
As a child, before the lots were cast, my parents moved around a great deal. State of motion was not constant, of course, but it was frequent. Honestly, I loved the newness of it. I loved feeling like a sculpture, clay added over and over, but with an artist always ready to carve from my form that which I did not require, continually reshaping my psychology. Bags in front of me during the unfortunately early hours before departure. They seemed to decrease in number with each successive voyage.
Okay. I agree. Note 784. It's funny, isn't it? Months into travel, and at the end of it, I am left with absolutely nothing. They told me that I should seek out the water treatment facility on this northwestern portion of the island. They told me that if I found it, I would be met with a conglomerate endeavor to reach the inland. I was told that the Order and the other enemies of the guild would not interfere with our attempts at progress. No one ever told me that the conglomerate endeavor in question was simply the continuation of the same pointless struggle against nothingness. 785. I suppose this is my punishment for assuming movement has any worth. Miles and miles I ventured, all of this time spent, all of the pain endured, and here I sit with nothing to show for it but a dirty old mattress and a stagnant mind. That's the best part of it, really. The best part is that I haven't changed. I'm the same idiot stumbling around in a fallen world that I was years past. Luckily, now that death is finding me like an old lover, rejected with yet loyal, it doesn't matter that the dwellers don't seem to be concerned with the inland. 786. Then again, Why would they be concerned? Why would they want to find meaning? A meaning that the old city must provide if they already have their own. What need would there be for change? I am so horribly idiotic, aren't I? I should have seen it. No matter. It's about to be over, thankfully, and this pathetic waste of a life won't be here to trouble anyone anymore. Onward with your endeavors, then, dwellers. I'm sure you'll make headway with your enemies someday. Surely it won't result in the continuation of an infinite conflict that will never be resolved, surely. By the greater eye, what a flipping joke it all is. 787. Boeing 787. I met a local minotaur named Jonah. We know Jonah. He is a friendly reminder of sanity's fragility. Drank from the unclean water, no doubt. In speech, he seems normal until a point. And that point is his dive into the bizarre. I will call it pretentious if it wasn't so obviously born of pure insanity. I guess I can't complain, as it's far better than the nonsense I hear from the guild. At least Jonah doesn't make weightless promises of inland ventures. No, he's firmly planted in his place. As if stuck in a loop, he keeps returning to vague memories of his childhood as if they could protest him. In the middle of a thought, he'll bring it back from void, just to make everything seem safe. Alright, so I think we're Jonah. Here's Guo. I can't turn anything on. Subway access, water treatment. Ugh, I feel terrible. Alright, I'm gonna stop complaining about how I feel. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, down. Storage. I have you, flip, flap, jack, give a dog, Captain Knuckles. I'll turn the light off. Sorry, I had to jump in the recording. I hate it when games show pictures because it's either really creepy or really awesome. And let me tell you, these pictures do not look that awesome to me right now. My father showed me in heaven Z's flies, his wings like the clouds, his darkness the skies. Still a behemoth is roaming in the desert unknown, the dunes reaching forward where no seed is sown. Under these beasts, 'neath the depths of abyss, Leviathan's creeping, Sheol's prince of Dis. Abba guided me onward by the strength of his hand. I let slip between my fingers my grasp of the sand. He wondered, curious, do you know where you are? Indeed, I did not. All I could see was the blue. I told him plainly, doesn't matter. I'm right here with you. Okay, well, that's different. I'm glad that we have this childhood room after we've been hearing a lot about childhood from people who know about childhood because we can't shut up about childhood. Alright, well, I'm guessing that's the end of the game. Let's just go towards the light. Here we go. Ah, it actually is getting bigger.
I shouldn't be here.
Why? Right. Ah. Oh. If I get the horror portion of this game all of a sudden, I'm not going to be thrilled. I don't want to go. Can I turn the volume down just in case, please? Thank you guys for understanding. Hello, you. I'm coming. Just be a mannequin, maybe? Or a statue. Just don't move. Don't move. I'm gonna assume that you've been there the whole time at the other end. Okay. Happy and content. Okay. Ooh, I don't like this, Sam. I am. I don't like this. Oh, don't jump out at me! Okay, alright, alright, alright. Alright, 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 alright. I'm just gonna... Do I have to hit E on this? Guys, I'm really sorry. I'm gonna pull a Faith, the Unholy Trinity, and take off my headphones just in case. Okay, alright, alright, alright. Okay, I really shouldn't be here. I regret my decision to substitute my own.
Please. I cannot swim this deep.
Yeah, please. Please, pull me
Please.
out. Pull me out. Get me out. Oh, I don't like that. I don't even have an issue with statues. It's just I don't know what's happening. And I don't like possible jump scares. Okay. Well, you know, that was really cool. God the heck. The creature of the ancients comes with a new coat, annihilating those deemed anachronistic. Indeed, Dover ruins red. Alright, I'm leaving. Goodbye. Was that note still the same? Was the note still the same in that room? Oh, I think crib. Wasn't there a crib here? Yes, it was. Okay. It's still the same. Alright, I'm leaving. Goodbye. Never to return again. Maybe there are no jump scares in this game. That'd be awesome if there weren't. Oh, just a person! It's a person. Were you always here? Was I that blind the first time around? Are you serious? I almost certainly just straight up missed him. That's not fair. Or her, to be fair. What's up, demons? It's me, ya boy. If there's something chasing me, I swear. To the sources. I don't want to go to the sources. I want to go back up. Why did I choose to play this game when I'm sick? I don't want to play this game when I'm sick. Wait, is this the way we went? What? Alright, well, now I'm just confused. Because I thought he talked when he walked down this hallway, right? Alright. Nope. Not going up there. I can't go in there. Okay. Oh, hey, there's an eye. Okay, let's follow the eye. Hello? 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 I don't want to go to the exit. I mean, I do. But I don't. What are going on here? Just be on the lookout for more corpses and bodies. Gulo. What? Ah! Okay. We're good. It's just Solomon's note. I guess I'll read Solomon's note. Alright. Oh, it's so long. What? What is this? It's so long. This is literally pages. And it's called Irrelevant. What? I mean, I want to read it, but I don't. Alright, corpse. Corpse. Corpse, 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 corpse,
Would
corpse.
you be angry with me if I removed his work? I'm not exactly a fan. Before I assumed this portion of your stomach, he existed as a parasite, eating away at your flesh before making his escape. I'm told that he refused to accept the sustenance you haul in from the outside. Some say he went insane after attempting to live off of the unclean water. Poor fool.
Okay. Whoa, I did not see those. Okay. No one sees a whole bunch of times with his eyes drawn out. Let's read these notes. February 24th, entry 1. This endeavor is new to me, but I suppose no other of my kind has written a journal of their discoveries, at least none that I have read. Why is it, I wonder? Why do the others, though spread thin in this hellhole, prefer talking to themselves aimlessly and without end? They wander in the dark, spewing their mind as if the walls themselves are engaging them. No matter, the walls will not hear my thoughts. No, my thoughts are for you, reader, whoever you are. January 25th, entry 2. I met with the order camp near the downed subway cart today. It is always interesting how they and the others down here have taken to living in our collective filth. Though I suppose the gas is always greener only when you can see the other side. Is it gas? No, it's grass. It says grass. Why did I say gas? Probably said sewer. If I can plan some sort of coordinated effort to get to the surface, I think we can travel much faster. What we need is a rigid system and cooperation. February 26th. You saw there? Good. Entry 3. Back when I was dubbed Minotaur by the Council of Modernity, I assumed the title granted me at least a modicum of authority over logistical affairs. This doesn't appear to be the case within the Order camp, however, as they've rejected me outright. The title seems to distance me from them. Sometimes I feel as though the Council is no better than the rabble of premids that they combated. The premids themselves are almost entirely eliminated, but our current populace is just as stubborn and unwilling to challenge their current status. Here's the old city. Subway access, water treatment, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. I can't read directions. January 27th, entry 4. Today, I decided to use a different tactic than I had used before. Instead of pulling rank, I opted to use reason. As common dwellers, we are all aware that our supply of water and food is largely provided by the old city. It is clear that this entire supply is simply the leftovers of a much larger meal, a hand-me-down from some other entity in a much better financial situation. While this free sustenance is appreciated, wouldn't you rather find the source? Apparently, I alone have a sentiment. I will try harder. February 3rd, entry 5. It has been a week since my last entry. I have tried everything. These people are intolerable. I've tried every measure of reason to no avail. They'd rather drink the old city's charity water than find its fountain. I don't know how much longer I can take this. Every time I give a reason to escape this underground purgatory, it becomes more evident to myself how badly I personally need to get out. And every time they refuse, it becomes more obvious how hopeless the situation really is. Is this you writing, buddy? I gotta say, at least you kept your toenails trimmed, and your fingernails probably fine. And your eyes, well, they're rough, but whatever. Can I sleep on your bed? No, I cannot. Okay. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do, guys, because I, unfortunately, am like this. Ooh. Hey, look at that. Unfortunately, this is just who I am. So I'm going to read that stupidly, annoyingly long note that we found from Solomon. Why? I don't know. Timestamp right here above my head. Go there to skip ahead. Okay? Here we go. I'll put some dramatic music in the background. My name is irrelevant, and I alone. Since the fall, everything has become irrelevant. I often wonder if this opinion is a realization brought about by the fall, making it true even before perhaps irrelevance is a result of the fall. But the matter itself is as irrelevant as my name. Another more relevant matter is that the cause of the fall. Unfortunately, I cannot help you here. All that I know is that it was not sudden. Society collapsed like an aging mind, losing its organization slowly without being cognizant of decline. There was no single event that I can trace. It was not violent or chaotic. There was no dramatic scuffle. No, we fell gradually and painlessly as structure simply melted away. So I cannot give you an accurate macro story. There is only this macro perspective. I do not have a legitimate reason to write of this perspective, of course, as it seems particularly unlikely given our current, let us say, I know that word, dilapidated, thank you, climate, that anyone will even discover this mental spillage, much less read and find value in it. Regardless, I will write of my perspective all the same. I will write of a great many things. In fact, I will write countless notes until that long-awaited day of my release from reality, because legitimate reasons are for those who have attempted to grasp some sort of structure. The structures are gone. It is all gone. All that is left is an empty world for me to wander aimlessly, with all the pomp of a king, as if my continued existence were anything but the result of a biologically programmed will to survive and a cowardice to stifle nature's plans. Certainly, I would prefer to be dead, and I imagine that this depresses you. You should not worry, though, because this is not the sort of suicidal will that is born of an intense sadness. Rather, this is the desire for death born of a hollow life. The end, at this point, seems like an unfinished work of an already pointless existence. Thus, you should not worry, as if I am in pain suffering. There is nothing, I am no longer anything. There is nothing. I am no longer anything, and thus I am useless. Useless things should be tossed aside like garbage to be incinerated. Beyond this, the worry would be unwarranted on another level. I suspect that if you find these, I will have died well before. I should note that I am fully aware of the other survivors reading. There are a few in this complex, although I really do despise that term. Among the present humanity, I am one of the last who was old enough to remember the fall, and I know that it was far less dramatic than our stories typically tell or told. To call us quote-unquote survivors is to imply that the fall was something difficult to survive. There are not nearly as many of us around, certainly, but that is because we stopped breeding and spread out, not because we died. The fall brought stagnation more than death, and stagnation brings a different kind of decay. It brings a slow decay. Like me, our world became useless, and the natural process of crumbling took over. So at last, a single question remains, that is, should you read this at all? At this point, it should be obvious that I cannot give you any reason to do so. You are one of two types of people. The first type, the type that is far more common, is someone who has only ever known the fallen world. The second type, one that you are probably not, is someone who has lived just long enough to reclusively recognize the decline. To the first type, these notes will be extremely depressing. To the second, these notes will present nothing that has not already been seen or felt. There is no third type of person who could find this useful. They are all gone. My name is irrelevant. I am alone. Note 2, 6th of January. It occurred to me that these notes will likely be found in my home, meaning a description of my place is unwarranted. Therefore, rather than give you an image of what is undoubtedly the least tasteful residence in existence, I would like for you to think of this particular note as a series of directions. Only follow these directions if you are so inclined to discover my material life like a detective searching for clues leading to a murder. Murder, incidentally, was what those of us before the fall called that intentional killing of another human being. We had structures in place to discourage and prevent that sort of thing, never really challenging the fact that people wanted to do all the same. Anyway, you should start by examining my desk. There you will see my typewriter and my papers. The unused papers are sealed away in the drawers on the right side, so as to prevent decay. The spare ink is similarly protected. You might find use for those now that I am no longer requiring them, and I do hope that you will keep the typewriter somewhat intact. I realize that it has potential as a wellspring of scrap, but I have a deep fondness for it as machinery. It has its use, and it carries it out semi-flawlessly without question or complaint. I admire that about machines of old. Oh, that reminds me. I should also mention my pens. If you check the third drawer from the top on the left side of the desk, you will find a collection of unused mechanical pens designed for writing by hand. Similarly, the chalk or pencils you are probably familiar with. The pens have a store of ink inside them, much like the typewriter, so they are somewhat limited. Do take care of this equipment. I am aware that writing as an endeavor is not something humans seem to have kept from our pre-fallen state, but it is extremely important that someone continues to write who is more capable than myself. With these tools, I am just as useless as before. But someone with more content can produce something of worth. Moving along, on the opposite side of the room, there is a brick wall with wooden boards sitting at the base. If you'd like to use this room as residence, I am now obviously not in a position to decline, not that I would have had I still been alive. Indeed, if you do take this room, the brick wall you see there will become extremely important to you. If you examine it closely, you will see that some of the bricks are the ones at eye level are loose. The windows are barred for the obvious reasons, but these loose bricks provide a quick way to observe the exterior world. Avoiding surprises is always a useful key to avoiding release from existence. It's best to keep watch for your own prison, I find. Of course, if you're caught by surprise, there are various clubs and spears under the mattress near the kerosene lamp. Oh, but who am I fooling? I'm sure you have a better collection of weaponry. Finally, you should be aware of my storeroom. There is a floor panel in the middle of this upper room that acts as a door to a basement. There you will find a great wealth of canned food. Most of it may have spoiled by now, but some of the simpler materials should be edible or at least marketable. Along with the cans, there are several can openers hanging on the wall beside the stairs. These irreplaceable and curiously simple tools seem to be the most valuable assets in our world. Also, and this final instruction is incredibly important, do not introduce heat into this basement. It has considerable airflow from the outside because of its barred but open windows on two orthogonal walls, so it is always quite cold. Food does not spoil if it is refrigerated, which is an old way of saying chilled. We have large machines that did this for us, some of which you may have seen littering the old residential areas, but we have to resort to other means of achieving this effect now. Once the seasons turn and summer approaches, you will need to scavenge for more canned resources. This is the most dangerous time of the year. While I'm sure you are more than capable, you should be aware that the heat of the sun will prevent the refrigeration effect that I previously mentioned, spoiling your new store of material. Do your best to find more and eat only what will spoil quickly so that you can save canned material from the winter. I'm not sure of the route you took to get into this complex, but the only entrance I am aware of is the single door on the south side. The main double doors should be completely blocked off from the interior. I made sure of that. The single door is easily accessible, but it is also easy to defend. I recommend some sort of blocking system that you can move to and from the door on the inside, though traps may be more suitable for you. Personally, I could never stomach the thought. It was not due to a sensory or even emotional inability, mind you, as I have seen enough to be fairly immune to that disgusting nature of death process. Rather, I could never justify taking a life, or even maiming one, to protect one that is undeniably lesser. Oh, and while considering the topic of protection, I will say you should avoid other scavengers over the course of the summer even while you are outside of this complex. I can't really make the case that they are terribly malicious, but people have a way of abandoning decency when their quest for prolonged life is jeopardized. That is to say, canned food is obviously sparse, and they will fight you for it just as they'd fight you for my abode. I only bring this up because in the old times we all expected the world to turn into a dangerous place after any sort of fall. I guess we adopted the idea so as to justify structure and truth. The world did not become any more dangerous, rather it became quiet. Sleeping on its deathbed, humanity clings to life for no reason other than instinct, all the while deserving nothing but a swift end. But what am I saying? You know this. Again, you are here. You are fit. You conquered the obstacle of your own mortality to arrive at morality's playground, and I would suggest you feel pride if the whole ordeal wasn't so manifestly pointless. On that note, I do not know why am I even bothering to help you. I think that I already like you because you managed to find my residence. I suppose that demonstrates at least a modicum of talent. I have none of that, at least none that would matter in this world, so I appreciate it in you, the reader. For all I know, well, I don't know anything, do I? I'm dead. I should say, for all I would have known, you could be a terrible person. You could be one of those who sacrifice decency and empathy at the altar of pragmatism. As if your actions are excusable because of your fear of death. Still, you would possess talent all the same. Interestingly, people of the sort existed well before the fall. That is, vile people. I often get the sense that you and the others view the pre-fallen world as a sort of mystical place of happiness and good. Nonsense. People were just as terrible. The fall acted as a great unveiling force for the observation of those people. The only difference between this world and the world in the old one is that we now experience considerably less comfort. Comfort, it seems, acts as mud in otherwise clear water. It became difficult to see just how terrible humanity was through the various social cues and structures we adopted, tricking ourselves into believing that we were evolved. I don't feel proud of it. I don't feel proud that I saw what people were through what they pretend to be. Even before the fall, I was a misanthropist. Can you blame me? If you think I am wrong, then you are an idiot. If you think I am pointlessly negative, then you are asking me to lie. Dishonesty is by far the most offensive crime, and to lie to myself is worse than to lie to anyone else because I spend more time with myself than others, making the prospect even more dangerous. If I were to lie about what people are in order to make myself happy, all I would accomplish would be making myself one of them. I would make myself a rat by ignoring the pack. To be fair, it could simply be social idiocy. The idea has been presented to me by essentially everyone I have ever known, though the number of said individuals is frightfully, or perhaps luckily, minuscule. The phrase sad freak has been uttered several times. However, outside perspectives tend to be the most accurate by nature of being inherently macro. I would love to believe that there is some missing piece within the complex of social life effectively justifying behavior that would otherwise be obviously abhorrent. But there is not, it seems. People are more than apparently terrible, and they manage to ignore that through social fluff because they are selfish. I am selfish. I am incredibly selfish. My selfish nature is manifested in that I hide away from normal people, quote unquote, out of my disgust for them. Honesty has this effect. The others have a selfish nature that is exhibited in their continued and pointless attempts to manipulate one another for some fleeting gain. You, for instance, are probably one of the worst just by nature of being here now. What debauchery do you enjoy, I wonder? How often do you manage to convince yourself that trying to maintain the good is not realistic? Ask yourself if you refuse to commit Ask yourself if, you refuse to commit to morality, or anything for that matter, because you are afraid. Are you afraid to risk your happiness, a pathetic concept indeed, at the hands of good? Yes, you are afraid. I know you are, because you are here in my room. Perhaps you are afraid to the point of having convinced yourself that there is no morality. There is just you. Selfish people are only self-absorbed because they are afraid, and selfish people are not good people. So please, do call me a freak. Curse my name under your breath as you read my words. Say it. Say, curse you, irrelevant. I cannot stop you, and why would I? The only difference between you and I is that I am honest. And, honestly, we are all cowards. But, of course, it is here that I should apologize, though I do not fully understand why. It is obvious that I am a negative soul, and it is obvious that most people are blissfully stupid to the point of being what I venomously describe as quote-unquote optimistic. So I imagine my barrage of weaponized reality is devastating. No, not devastating. Pity. That's what you feel, isn't it? Ha! You absolute dullard. I take back my apology. Of course that's what you feel, because you only ever feel. You're like the rest of your poor buffoons who feel before they think, thus you make your thoughts irrelevant like me. You're not even internalizing the actual implications of negativity, are you? With each passing remark of the absolute ridiculousness of reality, you wonder what wound I hold that makes me twisted. With each jab at your preposterous notions of self-worth, you imagine me experiencing some trauma that ruined my psyche forever, be it the death of a loved one, molestation, torture, abuse, or perhaps the fall itself. You wonder what happened to me. Well, let us remove the fog. The reason I am negative is because I am not totally moronic. Yes, that is all. I am just barely intelligent enough to see the vanity of every last piece of the universe. Are you now shifting your thoughts? Are you now supposing that I am simply insane, thus moving from pity to disgust? I have heard the ceaseless echoes of your popular psychology, reader, and they do not move me. Your repeated assertions of a broken mind that you claim are born of your own institutions are wholly weightless, and your ironically patronizing desire to comfort me in this realization simply shows your complete neglect for critical thought. You feel what you want to feel and think as a result. Idiocy. For as long as I am alive, I will think before I feel. My thoughts lead me to the conclusion that there is nothing but void, and I will feel accordingly. The final assumption of my character is on the horizons. Soon you will imagine me to be enjoying my negativity. From pity to disgust to hatred, you'll arrive at a place where I am like the others who wallow in their own pathetic nature, as if perceived sadness in a style of clothing that I condone to foster some notion of uniqueness. If I were like them, I would value myself as an individual. To do so would be to ignore sense. You are wrong. But you are wrong for a different reason than you might suspect. It is not that the inverse of your assumption is true. That is to say, I am not deeply depressed or saddened by the vanity of everything. Consider what I told you before, that this is not the sort of morbid sense that is born of sadness. No. I am morbid because I recognize the hollow nature of life. You cannot escape the fact that I am not a wounded animal to be pitied. I am not so insane as to be wrong, and I am certainly not masturbatorily in my recognition of pointlessness. These buffers of assumption you place between your world and mine are as pathetic as your pursuit of happiness. So, please, spare me your bloated assumptions of emotional damage and engage my assertion with some semblance of reason. At least make the attempt to discuss with me on my own terms, that is, intelligent terms. Not that I am uniquely gifted with an intellect. Boy, I'm struggling all of a sudden. I apologize. On the contrary, I believe I am somewhat dense relative to most minds. You, on the other hand, refuse to use your intelligence, and I have no patience for that, so I suggest you stop reading this now if you are so inclined to continue analyzing my psychology with all the ability and intuition of an ape simply to create obstacles between the truth of what I am saying and your concept of reality. I am not unique. I am not especially intelligent. I am by no means attractive, and I am certainly not interesting. However, I am right. Therefore, the better methodology is that of conflict. Rather than enduring your condolencing attempts at psychoanalysis, I invite you to converse with me. Engage in argumentation as if we are playing chess. Sit down where I sat before, at this desk, and do battle with my ideas. Put aside your archetypical pondering for just long enough to see my pieces on the board and react to them using the rules of the game. After all, such an engagement is a statement of respect. I have shown my respect for you, reader. I want to argue with you, and I would not, if I did not, believe that you were capable of reciprocating. Add meaning to this drivel by understanding it. Admittedly, I do presume to be right, meaning I assume that you are wrong. As I know you disagree with me. I know you have a far less negative view of the world, but I respect your intelligence all the same. Even the smartest minds can hold the stupidest ideas simply because they refuse to try. Note 3, 9th of January. I forgot to mention something in my last note. I forgot to tell you about my most prized possession. Indeed, the single object is more important than the whole of my life. It is essentially sacred. Although it is not religious or even spiritually oriented, this book, this tome, if you will, is your key to the vasts of humanity. Above my desk, just below the wooden trim that remains on the ceiling, you will see a hole carved by some stretched leather from an old glove. If you remove this covering, you will see a small hollow, and this hollow is the greatest treasure you will ever find in all of your scavenging. Bound in cloth, an elastic string for preservation, my dictionary with an attached encyclopedia sits in the dark, waiting for you to discover it. This single book allows you to understand my rambling. More importantly, it is a window into the old world. By nature of not knowing the old world, you are relatively ignorant. You should not worry, and I should hope that you are not so easily offended, as ignorance is not something that anyone can truly fault, at least not legitimately. To some extent, you cannot legitimately fault anyone for stupidity either. Intelligence can certainly be trained, so there is at least a marginal room for fault, but the true culprit of our intellect downfall is a lack of creativity. In my experience, creativity is nothing but a willingness to use one's intelligence to understand the connected nature of data. Understanding itself is a creation, and this dictionary provides you with a wellspring of data. You actually have a psychological advantage over the people of old because data is sparser than it was before. You have a drive to collect it. Before, we had structures built to feed us data, regardless of whether or not we wanted it or found it useful. Oh, on that note, I should say that not all the data in this dictionary will be useful to you. Do not attempt to memorize all the words in our language, as that would be ridiculous and, chiefly, a waste of time. Rather, think of this new wellspring as a companion. I have other books from the times of old scattered throughout this room, and your new guide will help you navigate their secrets. Search them for clues like you searched my residence. Scavenge them for knowledge like you scavenged for food. If you do not trust in their worth, allow me to use my life as an example. Factual data, especially if anecdotal, has a way of leading people to truth without taking them through the muddy waters of personal bias and comfort. Yet it somehow remains authentic by nature of it being personal all the same. Anyway, when I was young, very young, I was expected to learn about the world. It was similar to how young people are expected to learn of survival now. However, in the comfort of the old world, survival was pushed aside to make way for broader and more important topics, such as the history of humanity, her thought, and her struggles. There are many ways of acquiring this material. One method was that of schooling. The assumption was that there are people who are made more capable than others when it comes to passing knowledge on to children. We call these people teachers or professors. These were held on high as the achievement of thought. They were regarded as a paragon of all learning and the final bastion of reason in our society. Unfortunately, that structure was complete nonsense. We neglected a core principle of learning to make way for our pride and our sense of safety. We forgot that people learn when they are interested. Are you interested in your new companion? Perhaps not yet, but you will be when you are presented with a problem that only your companion can solve. Comfort eliminated our problems, so we had to create them artificially. Children tend to be smarter than us by nature of not having the chance to kill their own creativity. So they were left with this extremely inefficient method of communication that was not interesting in and of itself and did not involve the presentation of any interesting material. Some of us benefited, though, and some of us simply adopted a structure out of hubris, as if memorization were something to be proud of. The arrogance of these individuals contributed to enormous heaps of information. They sat atop the mound of unused data, thinking they had climbed the highest mountain, when in reality all they managed to do was smother their own intelligence. Almost there. Okay. Boy, I was lucky in that I was not subjected to this method of communication. At least I was not immediately subjected to it. My parents were somewhat unique in that they allowed me to learn autonomously. In the old world, we had buildings that existed as storerooms for books. I have my own library behind me on the metal shelves, but it is nothing compared to the sheer scale of these collections. Imagine almost limitless amounts of knowledge and thought contained in a single building. A grander thought when I had never conjured, and to think it is a memory. It is a memory of something that actually existed. What fools were to ignore its worth? It is gone now, but I experienced it. Do you know how to teach a child to swim? One way is to describe the motions to the child. You can even describe buoyancy in the basic proportions of water. Still, another method is simply throw the child into the ocean, expecting the child to either die in the deep or learn through an extremely troubling experience. Neither of these methods are the ideal. What would happen if you gave the child a rowboat? Better yet, give the child a galleon. The child may never learn to swim, admittedly. In fact, the child may never leave the boat at all. But some children will not be able to tame their interest for long. Some children will see the water from the boat and will dive in. Luckily, the ocean is vast, and there are many places to explore and find interest in, so the other children will not be far behind. I can still recall the words of my parents as they left me at the library for countless hours. Go and learn, they said. Never was I given a direction. Never was I tested. No, I explored. You might be tempted to think that I was alone, but you would be wrong. I was participating in the full breadth of human experience. I stood beside great men and women as I was given their secrets, their correct and their false information. All of it painted a picture of reality that became more investing as it unfolded. Like you, I found a great treasure, and I used it when I found interest. The others did not approve of this methodology, I'm afraid. Do you want to know why? It was because they were afraid. They avoided learning from the same reason that we are all evil. We're cowards. In this setting, their greatest fear was of being wrong, so they adopted standard content in standard ways. Content told in standard ways. Standard things are not interesting things. Even I learned from reading the various texts of the library was a true discovery. Value was based on my reaction. So what I learned was, of course, sporadic. I learned about astronomy. I dipped into mathematics. Marine biology became important to me, and literature of almost all kinds was my love. I learned everything I could about everything that seemed important because it was in front of me for a limited time, and there were others who learned this way as well. They were few in number, but they existed. I spoke with one such child when I was of a similar age, and we discussed what we had discovered. I could see the same spark of exploration in his eyes that was undoubtedly present in mine. Everything was new. There was no sense of pride in any of it either. We both learned different things, and when the learning overlapped, it was coincidence that gave way to acquaintance. Where our findings differed, the experience produced sharing. On the other hand, when I talked to the countless hordes of horrid children from the schooling system, every piece of information was a medal they wore on their chests with the most disgusting sense of achievement. If I shared my findings related to a children's novel or perhaps an obscure work of fiction, I was met with the same repeated Shakespearean drivel. You haven't read Romeo and Juliet? Are you slow or something? I had to read that in 4th grade, I was told. What I learned was not important because it was not standard. A great portion of thought was completely wiped out because it was not on some test given by some dry and dusty moron with some chalk and a piece of paper that dictates who is and who is not a member of the upper echelon of intellectual success. I don't like the work of Shakespeare. I find it to be void of any interesting content and entirely worthless. But that was simply my interest speaking. If some other child found it to be interesting, I would have been in no position to assert anything objective. What I found interesting was so because I am part of a diverse pool of humans. Not so with school, it seems. Shakespeare was arbitrarily deemed essential to the knowledge of all life, and to not be interested in Shakespeare's shoddy and absurdly uninteresting drool was to declare oneself an idiot for the highest order. Yes, I am a moron because I did not swoon over the poorly constructed plays of some dead wordsmith who was so unable to use his language that he resorted to simply making up his own. At least, that is some form of creativity, I suppose. In truth, The heinous nature of other children was only in part due to their structure they were being subjected to. There were other factors, such as their social climate. Rather than placing them in the context of the full age range of humanity, allowing for maximum experience, parents placed their children over an industrial track only with those of the same year group. The practice is similar to defecating into a paper bag and breathing into it until passing out. We took the undeveloped nature of young humans and amplified it by leaving them alone together, creating what is undeniably the most toxic environment in all of human history. At the end of it, we called it childhood. We called it growth. We labeled it normal, and continued as if every human went through a phase of debauchery. Where was my phase of debauchery? Where was my adolescent days? I do not recall experiencing such a reckless and stupid era of my life that I was to grow out of. In reality, the effects of this veritable toxin simply wore off over the course of the few years after this climate was enjoyed. Oh, how normal it was. Yes, the drunkenness, the pure and self-induced idiocracy, the sexual behavior that only accomplished an emotional destruction in later years, and the absolute foul smugness of each and every stupid boy and girl that was manufactured, the same moronic scum over and over. Yes, a phase. Yes, normal. Absolutely preposterous. But, my dear reader, you're exempt from this structure. You have escaped it through the timing of your birth. I congratulate you. It is fitting indeed that I was unable to avoid its fruits. It is my punishment for being worthless. But it's all worthless. No matter. You have a companion, and you can use it to understand the universe. You have within your grasp one of the last keys to that which is truly important. You have a key to that which is grand, and you will not defile it with any sort of trained idiocy. Your new companion will help you if you are interested, and you see that is just the point. I am not giving you an instruction on what to learn. Rather, I am simply giving you the instruction to learn. Your interest will guide your galleon, and all you must be is willing to sail. Whew. Wow. Okay. First of all, if you listen to all that, are you okay? Do we need to have a talk? Second of all, this game kind of took on a new meaning. Wow, that was quite a lot. That was quite a lot. Okay, so he said a lot about desks. He said quite a bit about desks, actually. Now, he said a lot about floorboards. He said a lot of things that were interesting. But, as he would say, chief among them were all these little, like, secrets hidden around the room. But I don't know if I'm just not seeing very well or what. But I don't even see a desk, man. Like, am I this stupid? Like, what? Huh? I don't. Guys, do you see a desk? Please help me. I don't see a desk. Why? I don't see a desk. Was that all a lie? Was that some grand plan to, like, weed out the stupid... Oh, you gotta go find the treasure. You gotta be quicker than that. Like, what? What? Well, I found that says make the leap. Well, I'm sure that there's some really cool Easter egg about all this. But, yeah, there's no desk. There's no drawers. There's no drawers. There's no floorboards in the center of the room that are out of place. There's literally nothing, so I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on. I really hope my voice is recording, by the way. Yeah. Alright, let's go to the exit. After I go here. Oh, this is just the same place. Okay. I'm gonna keep going then.
Shall I ascend to your lungs and feel your breath? I think that would be lovely.
I don't know what I did. So it sounds like the world building here is there was just a sudden... I was making a joke earlier. I was making a joke. I didn't want the actual titles of these chapters to be I, you, 2, you, 3, them, 4, he, 5, she. So it sounds like the world building is there wasn't some sort of like apocalypse. It was a sudden stoppage in reproduction, which that's a heck of an idea that I'm sure has been explored more times than I myself know of.
Simple little animals, aren't they? Filthy, no doubt, but can you really blame them? I suppose that if I were to hate them for their nature, I would be just as filthy. It's an odd position. To hate a rat for being a rat is to make oneself a rat all the same.
Are we Solomon? Are we Solomon? There is nothing up there. We're in the vent. Peeing is believing. Guys. Peeing is believing. Can I believe? No. Solomon was here. Hey, my buddy. I just spent like a half hour reading your stuff. Nope. Nope. Can't flush. Can't flush. It watches me. I watch and return. Okay. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. The sources are nothing but relics. This is their work. Okay, that's odd. Alright. Well, let's, no? Huh. Okay. How do I continue? Onward with your filth, then. We sit and think when we should see. No one understands. Okay. Did I take a wrong turn? Did I take a wrong turn? I don't... Okay. Also, how is there light? Like, society collapsed. How is the electrical grid still going? Just saying. Okay. Oh. Okay. Happy Cup. This looks like a place that Solomon would want. 244. On to the question of tactics, I should note that the truth is being presented through the use of a vessel. That is to say, a passive tactic is not a tactic at all. We must be active, we must present correct ideology through any means necessary, because the world is a harsh and terrible place that deserves only an equal harsh and terrible vigilance. It is for this reason that our militant efforts are justified. Indeed, it is unfortunate that the order stands in the way of what is right, yet truth must be compatible with itself. The greater I watches as we fight for a revealed light. Our activism may manifest itself in the destruction of those unwilling to see, but the manifestation is only a sin to those aidled, adled by contemporary perspective. Future generations will look upon our conquest and see the fruits of those willing to stand up for a good idea, a correct idea. They will see our certainty, and they will thank us for bringing a new world of perfection into existence. Evil is a cancer, whose only cure is something that they now mistakenly see as a mutilation. They may accuse us of villainy, the simple minotaurs and unaligned dwellers alike, but that is apathy working against them. They prefer to dream of perfect worlds rather than to create them in reality. We, the Guild, are not so idealistic. Realism, my brothers and sisters. Realism and activism are the keys to a bright Estion. 245. Thus, we will continue. We will continue to make raids against the Order camps that have infested the northern portion of the island. If the unknowing refuse to acknowledge their problematic ideas, they will also burn, having stormed the northeastern sewer outlet in this facility. We will continue to haul the carcasses of the dead to the east access. The others may see it as butchering, as if the dead are but chum, but the ever-increasing supply of bodies make their dismemberment a necessity, if only for the sake of transportation. Take charge of those ideas that you hold true, brothers and sisters. Take charge of them and fight for them. Ideas do not fight for themselves. We must make incremental steps as individuals, small leaps of faith that will produce sweeping changes for mankind. Our leap is but a small step when the destination is already something that we hold true. It is the rest of humanity that must evolve. Humble servant of the greater I. Alright. So anyway, that dictionary. At a round heap of chance. Alright, so now I'm standing on holy ground. Okay. Cool. Anyway. Bunch of stuff. There are bodies at the east axis and stuff in the west axis, and those are the enemies of the order, blah 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 blah. Why do they light candles if there's lights? Just saying. Oh, is this food supply? Oh, that's probably why there's refrigeration, it seems. Okay. Nope, nope, that makes sense.
No one ever told me. Not that I know anyone. Apparently, after the Guild took this area from the Order, they felt the need to block off the tunnel leading to an access point dumping into the unclean water. Everyone knows not to drink it, so why block the path?
Ah. I bet it's not all that unclean. Or because that's where all the bodies are in the east access. Alright, let's go to storage.
It's funny how they all hoard the same supplies. All of it from the old city, and all of it wasted.
That is true. I don't know if it's true.
Would you grant me another ascent? I've explored your innards. Let me scale your back.
Oh, we're going up again. Alright, I'm going on an hour and 20. I am not feeling 100%. I'm now actually like 70% after all this reading. And I've been reading a lot as well. I literally was joking in the beginning, guys. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to let this guy probably talk. Yeah,
me
I'm
as
let him talk.
odd that evil is never self-aware. I mean, the most horrendous actions, these conglomerate endeavors of warring cabals, are caused by the best intentions. So all that's left is this grand suspicion of idiocy. Good intentions are moot under the control of a ludicrously stupid idea. But my contribution is hardly an appropriate contrast. I would like to argue that my contribution is non-existent, and thus superior to their negative impact. But the truth is, we're all infinitely terrible for not contributing at all, be it through neutrality or detriment.
Well, with that, I believe I will call it there. With this very pretty scene of the outside world, thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. This was different. I can't say this is what I expected when I started it, but I can't say I don't like it. I'm a little bit of a sucker for these types of sit back, relax, and let the game explore for you kind of ideas. So I hope that my sick voice gave a little bit of atmosphere for the readings. And other than that, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me today. I don't know how long this video will be. It might be an hour. It might be 40 minutes. I doubt it'll be under 20, just because I'm probably going to leave that all long Solomon note in. But hey, thank you guys for watching the video anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed, even if you skipped around. And other than that, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. And remember to someone loves you, even if you don't know it yet. Have a wonderful Monday. I will see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. And as always, what? What is? What is it? I was about to say goodbye. I had 2 words left before the 3-second fade out to black game. Guys, I might have to revisit this game. I need Johnny Hack and Slash Mantis Shrimp playing. He's the Mantis Shrimp. Nightmare on the Seas. He's the Mantis Shrimp. Yeah, you better just let me be. Look him up. Look up Johnny Hack and Slash. He's awesome. I don't think he produces music anymore, but I love him. He's one of my favorite artists. Has been for many years. Alright, well, anyway, with the Mantis Shrimp walking by. How do you top that as an ending? Thank you guys so much for watching the video as he walks off into the sunset. Take care, guys. And goodbye. He's the Mantis Shrimp. Nightmare on the Seas. He's the Mantis Shrimp. Yeah, you better just let me be.
Josiah became the father of Jeconiah and his brothers at the time of the exile to Babylon.